Welcome to the webinar today. We're excited to be here today, and I have to be honest. So these webinars are my favorite, are one of my favorite things about this program is being able to come and to work directly with you and answer questions. And I love the interaction. I love the questions. I love hearing more about you and your situations and what you're working on and what kind of your goals are. So the more interactive you are in these webinars, the better, the more fun they tend to be. So definitely be ready to participate today. And I have to also say that no matter how many times I do these webinars, and I've been doing them for I think about 3 years now. Basically, I think they started for the first year I did them every month, and then since then I've been doing them every 2 weeks. And I still get nervous every time we start. So there's kind of those few minutes before where I'm pulling everything together and getting started, and I get nervous all the time. And so so it just kind of proves to me and shows to me that no matter how many times you do something when it comes to public speaking or being in front of other people, that it's very natural to have those nerves. So if you're feeling that whenever you get up and speak, whether it be presentation at work or in front of your bosses or managers or something like that, and you get nervous, it's very natural. Everybody gets nervous. And I think that's what kind of kicks us into gear, into doing our best, is when we have a little bit of the nerves. Now, one thing to be aware of, though, and this happens with me, I have to be very conscious of it as well, is that those nerves can also kick you into speaking too quickly. Okay, so we have to, if you remember anything as you get up to give a presentation or you're speaking to someone that you're a little nervous about speaking to, the one thing to remember is to slow down. That will make the biggest difference. And as you then slow down, then your mouth has time to get into position. Your mind has time to kind of think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. You start moving your mouth more. So all of those things you learn at the beginning of the course, the 3 easy tips, those kind of kick into place as you remember to slow down. Okay, so controlling those nerves by just remembering, I need to slow down. That's going to be the biggest advantage to you. Okay, so today we're just going to go through question and answers, your questions to me. So, and I'll be able to help you answer those questions and practice. That's really what it ends up being. Is, someone might ask, oh, I need to work on the R sound, which we do have that question today. I need to work on the R sound. Okay, well, let's pull up a bunch of things that we can practice together working on that R. Let me give you some feedback, and let's make sure that you're practicing it correctly and doing it correctly so that you can be practicing it correctly on your own. Okay, you're probably wondering about this picture. For those who are new to the program, this is our youngest little boy that was born in November. So I have 4 boys, if you can imagine, and this is Thomas. And I walk into the room the other day, and my other 3 boys had lovingly placed all of their Pokemon toys around my little Thomas. And so they were all gathered around him, kind of laughing and playing with him. And I didn't quite catch the smiles from Thomas, but he was having a good time with it too. So just thought that was a kind of a funny little picture here to share at the beginning. But all right. Oh, there's another little one. A little bit of a smile. He's a very happy, good baby. He sleeps very well, so we've been loving having him around here. Okay, so a few things that are new to the Pronunciation Pro, or will be new to Pronunciation Pro, that I'm excited to talk to you about is we've been working the last few months on a few different things to introduce to the program. The first one that I'm the most excited about is we're going to have new weekly quizzes. Okay, and this is open to everyone, no matter what membership level you have. you'll have access to these quizzes. So I'm actually going to show you, we're not done kind of putting them into the website yet, and they're private right now, but we're hoping to launch them. I think it'll end up being on Monday, so in less than a week here we'll be launching these weekly quizzes. But let me show you a little bit about what they look like. Okay, so we have these quizzes. This is week 3. We have recordings and questions here. So there's about anywhere from 20 to 30 questions per week that you'll be tested on from the material of that week. Okay, so some of it might be listening exercises. Are you hearing these different sounds? Like this one, we learned about syllables and word stress and being able to identify which syllable in the words are being stressed. So we have a number of questions about that and recordings to go along with it. So there's several of those. Which syllable is being stressed in this word, being able to identify the syllables. So really all along the way, there's just certain key ideas that I want you to understand about the course. And those are going to be very important to your growth and your understanding through the program. Now, another part of this, and let me kind of jump back over here. Another part of this, so we have the new weekly quizzes from weeks 1 to 12, open to everyone. When you pass a quiz, and you have to get 90% or higher to pass the weekly quiz, and you have opportunities to take it multiple times, and you can kind of see which questions you got right and which questions you got wrong, so you can kind of study before you take the quiz again. But you'll get badges each week that will be posted on your profile page. And then at the end of the 12-week course, you'll be able to get a certificate of completion. So in order to get that certificate for the 12-week course, you'll need to earn all 12 of those badges. So just helping us kind of be more specific about how well you're doing through the course, if you're understanding the material well enough so that we can award that certificate for those who do it. Now, you don't have to take the quizzes each week. If you just want to go through on your own and don't want to bother with the quizzes, that's fine. You don't have to do it. But in order to get that certificate at the end, and I just recommend that you do the quizzes so that you can make sure that you're really understanding what we're trying to teach during those weekly lessons. Okay, so we have those badges and certificates that are happening. Let me go here. The next one, next thing that we have is a new Strong Start email sequence that we're going to be sending out to new members. Okay, so if you're starting the course, and as of, I think we'll be launching this on Monday as well. For those who are just starting the course, they'll start in on the Strong Start emails, and what those are is they're emails every day that help you break down the course and the weekly material so that you know exactly what to do during those 30 minutes a day that I mentioned. And it gives you just a clearer idea of how to structure your study time, and then just gives some motivation and some tips on how to really maximize your participation in this course. Now, obviously, all of you have already started this course, so what we're going to do is send an email out to all the people, all the students who have already started the course, and see if you want to kind of opt into this email sequence that we have, so that you can kind of get those emails and get a feel for that schedule that we recommend. So you'll have a chance to opt into those no matter where you are in the program, just to get a feel for, you know, the optimal way of studying and what we recommend. Okay, if you're doing really well and you don't need that, that's fine. You don't need to opt into it, but we'll give you that chance and we'll send out an email about that. Okay, and then the next and final thing, we are going to change the voice TH sound to week 1. It's in week 2 right now, but as we were going through, found that I'd been adding a few extra videos, like how do you know when it's voiced or voiceless for the TH, and how do I know whether to do an S or a Z sound. I added those 2 extra videos in week 2, and so week 2 is a little heavy, so we decided to shuffle things around a little bit and get that voice TH sound in week 1. So you'll just notice that there's a little bit of a shift. And again, we'll be sending out an email to let you know about all these changes that are coming, most likely the beginning of next week. Okay, I'm done talking. Time to get to your questions. Okay, so first Rupesh wanted to work on the R sound a bit. So Rupesh, I'm going to unmute you, and then after this, we're going to jump into your questions, and I know I see a lot of questions already. So we'll get into those right after Rupesh. Hi, Rupesh.
Hi, Annie. How
are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so that R is still giving you some trouble, huh?
Yeah, I just still feel I'm not confident enough that I'm pronouncing correct or not.
Okay. All right, let's go get into it a little bit here. And tell me what you're doing to practice and to study it. What's kind of your routine to be studying and practicing the R sound as of right now?
Generally twice a day, right? Morning and evening. Especially initial R, I feel there is some problem, but in the vocalic R and probably might become in fine-tune mode. But initial R, I'm not sure that is it pronounced correctly or is there some improvements are required or not.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, so that was a little bit of there was 2 sides of that question. First of all, to kind of identify what you're doing, but also to listen to your R's and see where we're at.
Okay, great.
So what I'm hearing from you is this. I'm hearing that you're about, I would say like 60%, 50 to 60% of your R's are nice and smooth in the way I want to hear them. And then the other half, you're still getting a little bit of that rolled R sound to it. Okay, so we've talked about kind of that ra, 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 where your tongue is coming up and touching the roof of your mouth a little bit and creating that rolled sound. And then half of your R's are just kind of smoothed out. Okay? So what that tells me is that you're on the right path. You're getting to the point where where you're correcting those R's, but you're not quite there yet. Okay? And that just comes with more and more practice, because conversationally, we're not going to do things in conversation unless they're really comfortable for us. So it has to become quite comfortable before moving into just conversation, like me asking you that question.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, so what I want you to do, and you're kind of past the point of just in word level, I'm pretty sure. Well, let me kind of test it in the 3 different positions. So we have initial R, R blends, and vocalic R's. So let me hear your R's here with the initial R.
Okay.
Do you see this worksheet? Is that showing up all right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I think that's right.
Yes, perfect. All right, go ahead from the top there.
Okay. Right, read, run, river.
Do that one again. River.
River.
Okay.
River.
Okay.
I think that is the one complicated and troublesome.
That one has the R at the end too. That's what makes that one complicated. Okay. Do number 5.
really,
Mm-hmm.
room,
Mm-hmm.
red, remember,
Mm-hmm.
reach, rock,
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna then jump into our blends real quick. Read these for me.
treat,
Okay, do that one
prize,
again. Try that one again. Treat.
treat,
Okay, good.
prize,
Okay, I'm hearing a little bit of a roll there, so try and control a little bit more, and that just means goes a little bit slower. Prize.
prize,
There you go. Do it again.
prize,
Mm-hmm.
great,
Okay, do that one again and slow it. Grr. Grr.
great,
Mm-hmm.
free, free, that
Good.
R is drawing this
Yeah.
free, because FN, when I speak, I think that lips making my tongues goes up, that rather than,
Yeah,
because
because
R,
the F is in the front of the mouth, the R is in the back of the mouth. So your mouth is trying to get from the front to the back in that transition, and that can be tricky.
yeah, free,
Try it again. Fur, fur.
free, free,
Good.
dry,
Same thing with the D. D can be especially tricky, especially when you're rolling that R, because D and that kind of rolled R are in the same position. So you have to go dur, 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 dry.
dry, dry,
Yeah.
dry, yeah,
Yes, that's it. Okay. So it takes a lot of control over that one. Okay. How about this one?
creep,
Okay, try it again. Cur.
creep, creep,
Mm-hmm.
creep,
Good.
grow,
Beautiful.
grow, okay,
Mm-hmm.
crazy,
Yes.
trick,
Mm-hmm. Trick.
trick,
Beautiful. Uh-huh.
fresh,
Good. Okay. So that was really interesting. As we got to the second half, you got a lot more control over that R, and you were able to smooth it out a lot. So I think those R blends are probably a big one for you to keep practicing, and just say, okay, we got to get some control over that. And you don't have to just read through words. You can read through a paragraph and things, but you just have to go slower. When you come up against a word that has that R blend, slow it down and smooth it out. Okay, so when you're doing, say, the sentences, so you would do, I enjoy fresh baked bread, and kind of slow down on that. The next time through, try and go a little bit, you can try and do it a little bit faster, see if you can keep that smooth R in there. Okay, so let's just do about 3 sentences here.
okay. I enjoy fresh baked bread.
Good control. 2.
Please grab the broom and
Okay.
get to work.
Okay, try that one again. Please grab.
Please grab the broom
Here, you
and
kind of
get,
quickly went through broom, so
yeah,
slow down on that one. Broom.
broom.
Beautiful. Okay. So when you're slowing down and you're kind of controlling that tongue, you get this nice, smooth R sound, which is exactly what we want. So you just have to be slow and deliberate about your pronunciation for a while, as you're practicing those R's, and just be patient with it, because the more, it's just a muscle. We have to strengthen that muscle and strengthen that movement. Okay. But you'll get that. Okay, let's jump into the vocalic R real quick. And I just want to make sure that you can smooth this out, um, like I'm hearing with the others. Okay, so start here. Start.
Okay, start. Start,
Good.
car,
Okay, so at the end, we got to make sure that the ending sounds, because that's what I was hearing in your conversation, is that when the R vowel is at the end of the word, sometimes you start getting that rolled. But when it's in the middle of the word, you don't tend to have a problem with it. Okay, so car.
Car.
Okay, do the next one.
North.
See, that's a nice smooth one. Yep, now try this one.
War.
Okay, a little bit of a roll there. War.
Wall.
Okay, what might help is let's link it. So will the car start? Kind of link it together.
Will the car start
Good. So much better
this time?
R at the end when you just move it right into the next word. Okay, so like this one, the North went to war with the South.
The North went to war with the South.
Much better. War with. And you just want to slow that down. War with. Do that for me. War with.
War with. War with.
Yes, good. Very smooth. Okay, so that's the trick is just you have it, you can't I like to see that you can get it. You just have to be listening for that and be conscious of when your tongue is kind of moving up and when it's smooth. But you're getting it nice and smooth for me right now. So it's just a matter of going back and saying, okay, every time I come across that R sound, I'm going to slow down and make sure it's nice and smooth. And then as you do that, and you're doing it, like you said, you're doing it twice a day. So you read in the morning, read in the afternoon with that, with that smoothed out R. Eventually, you'll be able to speed up and get to a kind of a normal pace. And at that point, if you're able to read at a normal pace and keep that R smooth, then it's more likely to be able to carry into your conversational speech without you having to think about it so intensely.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Just keep practicing, okay?
Okay, yes. Thanks,
All
Annie.
right. Thanks, Rupesh. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's get into some other questions that are here. So I'm just going to pull up this blank worksheet. And it sounds like there are just a lot of individual questions or individual words that we'll focus on. And then Zeke or Cash wants to work on ours as well. And then we have a question about reductions. So we'll get into all those too. Okay, Yan, let me unmute you. Let me find you here. Hi, Yan, you there?
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. By the way, I want to mention that Thomas is adorable.
Oh, thank you.
He's so cute.
He is a fun one. We're having a great time with that baby. It's nice when they're so happy and they just, he's such an easy baby, so it makes it that much more fun. Okay. So some of the questions that you have, are you wondering about that phrase, this is the way?
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that smoothly. This is the way. It sounds like tricky. This is the way.
Okay, so we want to make sure we can do that smoothly with that linking, right? Okay, so this is the way. This is the way. So let's start and break it down. This is. Do that for me. This is.
This is. This is.
Okay, so that's good. Do this one. Is the. Is the.
Is the. Is the.
So that's probably, usually that's the trickiest combination right here is the S to the TH. So we have the S behind the teeth, and then we have to pull the tongue, or the tongue behind the teeth for the S, and then we pull the tongue a little bit out for the TH. Is the. Is the.
Is the. Is the. This is the way. This is the way.
So that's where it's kind of getting broken up, is between the is the. Is the. Is the.
As the. As
yeah, so exactly. So this is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
So do this. This is. This is.
This is it. This is.
And when you kind of come up in your intonation, sometimes that helps. This is the way. This is
This
the way.
is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
Yeah, exactly. Or, depending on the context, this is the way. You could do it that way too.
This is
the way.
This is the way. So I think maybe because there are two sounds and this is the
especially if th and s, if you are confusing s with th sometimes, which tends to happen. Sometimes it's this or instead of this. Sometimes it can get your mouth confused. So yeah, that combination of the th and the s is where it gets tricky in this situation. So whenever you have something like this, write it out and then break it down. This is.
So just repeat it again and again.
Yes.
So make my mouth kind get used to that.
Exactly. So whenever you feel like there's a kind of a disfluency and like I can't get my mouth to move that way, it's just training your mouth, and that's breaking it down and repeating the different sections and then bringing them together.
Okay.
It's a great strategy because that happens a lot, especially as you come across phrases that are common in your work setting that you're like, every time I come across this, I stumble. Then let's practice that. Let's break it down.
Yeah. I read a story for my kid every night, so I read that book kind of for 1 week every night. Every night I need to kind of read this is the way, but I still cannot pronounce it very smoothly.
Okay. I love when my students say that they are reading to their kids out loud, because I'm like, oh, that's the perfect time to practice because you're already reading out loud. Your kids love it. They're gonna want you to read the same books over and over again, like you were saying, and so you get that repetition, and it is a great way to practice. So yeah, whenever you come across that kind of and more on your own, not only when you're just reading, because your children might be like, okay, mom, go ahead, move on, but just repeating this is, or is the, and try and get it faster, kind of that movement faster. And then once you do that, you can kind of, then when you come across that, you'll be able to move more fluently through it. Okay?
Okay, for these 3 words, for the first one, the 3, it seems that my pronunciation is very, very different from native speakers. So, and for the English, I think my pronunciation is also very different. For China, I can be understood by other people. Whenever they ask me where I'm from, I say China. They don't know what I'm talking about.
So what I'm hearing from you, it's the vowel that is different in this one, Chana. So I'm hearing cha, instead of chai.
China.
So it has that long I sound in it, that if you get that long I sound, they won't have any trouble understanding that. So chai, China. Yes, there you go.
China.
China. Because when it's Chana, then that sounds like a totally different word than what they're used to hearing as far as China.
Okay, so it's a long I. China.
Just like you would say the letter I. China.
Okay. China.
Okay, say this one for me. Let's see if I can identify.
China.
And how about this one above? Are you seeing the board that I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
English.
So I am I am learning English. Okay,
English.
So do this for me. English.
Glish.
You do this for me.
Glish.
Glish. Yeah.
Glish.
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 Yeah. English.
English.
See, it sounds good to me, but I'm not sure, like in the context, if there's something else that I'm missing. But English, I would
English.
say just making sure that that transition between the G and the L is nice and clear. But I'm not hearing anything that's too that would cause any
English.
problems. English. Does it just feel different to you, or does it and sound different to you when you're saying it versus others, or are you getting feedback like people aren't understanding?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel it's different from others, and sometimes people cannot understand me.
Okay. Okay. So let's move on to 3, and then I might come back and have you kind of talk more a little bit about that later. So this next one. Say that for me.
3.
Okay. We have 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
3 weeks.
We have 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay. I'm hearing it nice and clear. When the TH-R combination is sometimes a little tricky to kind of get the movement through those. From that TH, the R. 3.
3.
There are 33, we have 33 minutes. Do that for me.
We have 33 minutes.
And it might be that right now you're on the spot with your pronunciation, so you're focusing on it really clearly. So you're doing it very well for me right now. It might be that while you're in conversation that you might be speaking faster, or you might not be concentrating on getting your mouth in the right position. So it might be 33 minutes instead of 33. So that's just a matter of the more you practice and you kind of get your mouth comfortable with that during your practice time, the more it's going to move into your conversational speech. The key, though, like I was saying at the beginning, as you remember to slow down, then your mouth will be able to get into position the way you've been practicing. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Okay, were there other?
Yeah, I have another question. I cannot differentiate the for, F-O-U-R, for, and fall, F-A-L-L, fall.
Okay, so what's happening in your mouth when you're saying those two words this is what I'm hearing. So for, what you're doing is you're kind of curling your tongue back. So instead of for, where your tongue, the back of your tongue is coming up, what's happening is your tongue is curling. For. And the tip is kind of curling up, so you're making kind of this cup shape, whereas you want the back of your tongue for. So 4 years. Say that for me. 4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
4 years.
For free. Here, do this for me. For free. For free. For people. Do that for me. 4 people.
4 people.
4 people. Okay.
4 people.
Okay, do you kind of hear that? The difference for? And then let me hear R.
R.
Okay. I want you to say for and then R. And pay attention to where your tongue is, what your tongue's doing between those two. So do R. For.
For.
R. For. Okay, so there's a little bit of a difference, and I think what's happening is because O is more of a full, a rounder sound. Or your tongue, instead of kind of coming back in the back, it's going for. And you're kind of curling that tongue instead of bringing the back up. For rocks. Do this for me. 4 rocks.
4 rocks.
Okay, don't break it. 4 rocks.
4 rocks.
4 rocks.
4 rocks.
Okay, so what you want to do in those situations, you're getting the initial R really good. So what we want to do is when you have a word like this, especially with the R vowels at the end of the word, then you couple it with an initial R. So say this for me: Star Rock.
Star Rock. Star Rock.
So or race. Or race. Do that for me. Or race.
Or race. Or race.
So connect it. Or race.
Or race.
So it's the same R. Whether it's at the beginning of the word or the end of the word, it's going to be the same R. So you want to make sure that that just or race. If you're doing a different sound at the, for or, than you are race, then you're doing it wrong. So or race.
Or race. Or race. Or
race.
Or race.
Okay, so something like 4 race, 4 rocks.
4 race. 4 rocks.
Okay.
4.
Good. Okay, so it's that R sound that we want to make sure we're doing the same R in the beginning of the word as in the end of the word. Your mouth is in the same position for every one of them. Okay? All right, good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to other questions, but feel free to ask any more questions through.
Oh, yeah, the 4 and the fall. F-A-L-L. Fall.
Oh, okay. So we got to get back to the full. Full and 4.
F-A-L-L.
Oh, fall.
Autumn.
Fall. Okay.
Fall.
So say that for me. 4 fall.
4 fall.
Fa. Ah. So get that.
Fa.
Drop that jaw more. Fa. Fa.
Fall.
Fall.
Fall. Fall.
And with the dark L, this is something that I want all of us to kind of be aware of. The dark L, I talk about it week 3 or 4, but if the dark L is really difficult for you, as far as doing the all, and not touching the roof of your mouth for that L sound, do it as a light L. Go ahead and touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth, because in most situations, in a lot of situations when you're in conversation, if you say fall out, guess what happens to that dark L? It has to touch the roof of your mouth to get to the next sound. Fall out.
Fall out. Fall out.
So do that for me. Fall out.
Fall out.
Fall out. So just
out.
Yeah, there you go. Fall out.
Fall out.
It's going to fall out of the sky. Fall out of the sky.
Fall out of the sky.
Okay, so instead of just
the sky.
So go ahead and touch the roof of your mouth for that L, and it's going to be more clear than trying to do that dark L sound.
Fall.
Fall.
Fall. Fall. Fall.
Yeah, that's much more clear than trying to do the dark L.
Okay. Fall.
Okay.
Fall. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks.
Good, Yan. Excellent. Okay, let's get into Rania. Let me unmute you. There you are. Hi, Rania.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Good. Good to have you again.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so quilt, huh?
Yeah.
So this one, quilt. So it has a little bit of that dark L sound in there, in the ill. But go ahead and say that one for me.
Quilt.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is quelt, quell, L. So it's almost sounding like quail with a long A sound, and we want it short I. So I want it to be qui. Same as like quick.
Quick.
Quick. It has the same short I. So quilt is going to be qui. quilt.
Quilt.
Yeah,
Quilt.
quilt. So you have to just really concentrate on getting that short I. Quick, quick, quit.
Quilt.
So it's the same. Quit is going to have, so say this for me, quit.
Quit.
Quit. So I'm hearing sort of more of a quit, quit, quit.
Quit.
So do it.
It.
Quit.
Quit.
It quit.
It quit.
So when you're doing it, it's the same vowel there. It quit. Quit. Quit it. You could do that too. Quit it.
Quit it.
Quit it. And then
Quit
we
it.
do quilt. So let's do this one. Quilt it.
Quilt it.
Quilt it. Yeah. So just concentrate on that same vowel. Quilt it.
Quilt it. Quit. Quilt.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Good. Okay. Next one. Embarrassed. Let me. Oh, hold on. Embarrassed. Okay. Embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to tell you that I can't say embarrassed. Okay, go ahead. Say that for me.
Embarrassed.
There you go. Embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
So it's second syllable stress. So you're going to get that embarrassed. And it's going to have that long A sound in there. Bear. Kind of like the same bear as the grizzly bear. Embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
Exactly.
And it will be like embarrassing?
Yes, exactly. Embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Embarrassed. Okay.
Okay, let me get this in here. And then the other one you have is, okay, I'm going to say it because sometimes it helps me to see what you're doing so I can better know how to correct you. So say this one for me.
Puzzled.
Okay, do it again. I'm very puzzled.
I'm very puzzled.
Ah, there it is. Okay, so what's happening is where you're doing the B instead of a P. So I'm very buzzled. And we want it to be puzzled.
Puzzled.
Okay, so what the little trick that we have is when you put the paper, I don't have a really good piece of paper here, a paper in front of your mouth. Here we go. Puzzled.
Puzzled.
So when you put a paper in front of your mouth, when you say the P sound, the paper is going to move. But if you say buzzled with a B sound, it won't move. So that's the difference between that P and B. You have to have a burst of air. Puzzled.
Puzzled.
So then it makes sense that the next word that you're having trouble with would be this one. So try that one with those P sounds.
Okay. Perplexed.
Okay. And the ending plexed. Perplexed. Because perplex is the root word. X, and that's going to be a voiceless sound at the end. So we're going to put the voiceless T at the end for the ED ending.
Okay. Perplexed.
Perfect. Yep.
Yep.
You got it. Okay, good questions. All right, thanks, Rania.
Thank you, Annie.
Okay, next, let's get into, okay, Zik. Hi, Zik, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. We had a few, we're emailing a bit this week, huh? Okay, so let me get, okay, reductions of them and to, right? So you're wondering about how, when and how to reduce the words them and to.
Yeah, I have an idea how I can reduce them or two, but problem it's there are certain words when I link it with it sounds like weird for me.
Okay.
Like, for example, if I said I will take them with me, I know I can say I will take them with me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at this. But if I have a sentence like I don't know, for example, over them. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I have to say overwhelm. I don't know. It's a bit hard for me to link over with to with them.
Yeah. Okay, so you bring up a good point. Is there are, these two words are reduced in some situations, but not all situations.
Oh,
Okay, so it does get tricky to understand, okay, well, when am I supposed to link them and when I'm not? So I think you actually have a pretty good feel for when it's appropriate and when it's not, because when you're saying, I want to take them to the zoo, I want to take them to the zoo,
yeah,
that's very common for native speakers to just say "m," take
yeah.
them, take
Mm-hmm.
them. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them there. So that happens quite a bit. Same with we're going to the store to to the store, or do you want to come too? Do you want to come too? So there's some situations where it is reduced sometimes. What I tell my students is first concentrate on the full pronunciation because reductions can really make it difficult for others to understand if we use them too frequently. So use them. So I didn't say use them too frequently. Use them too frequently. So I would say err on the side of saying the full pronunciation, but you're right. There are some situations where them and to can be reduced and are reduced. So I would say listen to native speakers, and as you notice those reductions, kind of take note of them. But as you're practicing, especially practicing through the course, I want you to be practicing the full pronunciation first. In the alumni course, we start going into more of the reductions and where the reductions are and why we use reductions. Um, but I want you to err on the side of doing the full pronunciation for now because it will teach you a more polished and professional way of speaking that I think is more it usually gets you to your goal faster of being easily understood, being able to be clear and articulate in your pronunciation and your presentations and your work, all of that. Whereas reductions, they do help you to sound a little bit more native, but we always talk about let's work on these most important things first, and then we'll get to the reductions. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think you naturally are probably using them in the right spot. So if it seems unnatural to use the reduction, it probably isn't right.
Okay,
Okay? And just the
okay,
examples that you gave me.
okay, okay.
All
So,
right?
okay, so wow, no. So I don't know because I heard a lot of American people like do the reduction every day on my daily life or daily activities. So that's why I came with this question. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
way, okay, I hear that clearly. So do I have to say it too? Or if I try to say it, as I said, like over with into plus them, sounds really weird for me to say overwhelm. I said, can I say overwhelm or over them? Or can I say
Yeah.
to them? Oh, I don't know. So that's what I came to this question. And
Yeah.
also heard
So
some of
one thing just real quick,
Mhm.
if you do the whole pronunciation, you'll never be wrong. But if you try and do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reduction, sometimes you might get it wrong.
yeah, I know. So that's why I said, okay,
That's why I always say just do the full pronunciation and you're right 100% of the time.
that's why I say I'm gonna say over them before I'm asking if I can say overwhelm.
Yeah.
And also for like come to, I heard some American people like there's a song says come to me my sinner. So I said come do me, but it just said come to me. So I know that the reduction of to like come do me. So they would just like to like do like you see the T between two vowels. And my question is like when I check about like phonetics about come, there's no E in the phonetics. So
Right.
why did they come do me?
Okay, so it's not actually D sound, come to me, come to me. It actually is a T sound, come to me. If they're, to me, it actually is a T sound because if I was saying come to me, that's a little bit strange. But but it's probably sounding like a voice sound instead of a voiceless sound. But I think if you listened a little bit closer, you'd probably hear more of a T. Come to me, come to me, to me, to me.
Okay.
Are you
And
hearing a T or a D? Is it come to me? Come to
it's not
me?
T now. When you
Yeah,
say
come to me.
when
Yeah,
I
it's probably a voiceless.
come to me, come to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but
So
those are the things that I like that you're listening. I like that you're coming up with those. So you're right. Come, that E is silent. It's not going to have any pronunciation there. So something like this is not sandwiched between vowels. Even though there's a vowel there, that's not pronounced vowel. So we're not counting that in the tap T rule.
okay.
So that wouldn't be come to me. But if we did out of
Let's
out
say
of
get
my
it out.
way, get out of my way.
Yeah.
Out of, that T would be out of.
Okay, if I have like get out of my way.
So that would be a D. Out of.
Yeah, get out of my way.
hmm
Okay. Like I got
Yeah.
it all. Like get it all.
Yeah. So you're just starting out with the course, but as you go along, you'll kind of slowly get all these rules and kind of start understanding them and applying them more and more through the course. And it'll become more and more clear to you kind of when to use, some of these versus the full pronunciation.
Okay.
All
Eh,
right.
Okay, I have another question. Like, I know, a servant is a person. Okay, if I want to link this sentence, so the T in servant will be dropped. Like, I can have to say seven is a person. Like I said, I don't know. And let's say if you want to become a servant, let's say, what can I have servant is? Okay, let's say a servant is a person who has humility. Do you have to say a servant is? Do you have to drop the T?
A servant is. Yeah, servant is. So again, you're kind of getting into these reductions before I want you to reduce things. So you might, from native speakers, you might hear that it's dropped, but it's not servant is. The servant is, the servant is, it's the servant is, the
A
servant is. So there's
servant.
still a little bit of a T there. That's why I always want you to get, for the ending sounds, I always want you to get your mouth in position for that ending sound. Sometimes it doesn't get released as a full sound, but you always, always, always get your mouth in position for that. So like the T, I'm not going to say the servant is, and fully release that T, but I am going to put it in position and link it into the next. So the servant is, the
Servant.
servant is.
Okay, the reason for that I'm asking this question is because in this word, advantage, I also heard American people said advantage. They
Yeah.
dropped it. So that's what I thought. I think the T in servant, follow is will be dropped.
So there is a rule in there, and I'm trying to remember if I did it in a webinar or in a video. I'm going to go back and check, but there is a little bit of a rule there with the N and the T, like international.
Yep.
Sometimes native speakers will reduce that T, international.
Mm-hmm.
So you will hear that sometimes, but here's what I'm going to say. Don't do it. Don't do it right now, okay? Once
Okay.
you get to such an advanced level that you're kind of looking for things to correct, then we'll do that. But it's much better. 100% be right if you say advantage or internet or international. You'll always be right when you get the T in there. But sometimes, like in servant, servant, if you don't get that T in there, you'll have a it won't sound correct. Okay. So always err on getting the full pronunciation in some of these areas that some native speakers reduce. Okay?
Okay. So I have
100%.
I have another question. I don't know I don't remember where I've seen that. So I heard American people say, no, it's like I don't remember if it's something that I've read on watched on YouTube. I don't remember. But someone says the reduction of that can be like, I don't have to say that's nice. I have to say it's nice. What do you think about?
Instead of that's nice, it's nice?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, so it's not really a reduction, it's just changing from that's nice to it's nice. Is that what you're saying? That's nice, it's nice.
I don't know. So I remember I said like for that's, what's, and it's the reduction can be like it's nice, like it's okay, like
it's okay.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if you think about it, it's not really reducing anything. It's nice. It's nice. You're still saying it's it's.
Okay.
So that's full pronunciation of it's. It's just fast. It's nice. It's they're just saying it really quickly.
Okay.
Okay. Here, let me get on to the other questions, but if you have more questions, just write them in there, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much, Zach. Okay, Sunny, and we can go longer. I know, I'm sorry if if you have to go, that's fine. I can go a little bit longer here, so we can get to everyone's questions if you can stay. Let me know if you can't stay and I'll kind of jump in a little bit. But Sunny, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Annie. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Sunny, good to hear from you again. Let me just read your question. Oh, about the R sound today. Yeah, Sunny, let's go ahead. I'm going to save your question to the very end. Let me go through some of the other questions that are here, and
Sure.
then we can kind of work on the R as well. So Akash actually wants to work on the R right now. So I'm going to jump in with Akash, and then if you can stick around, Sunny, then we'll address yours at the end too.
Yes,
Okay?
I will. Thank you, Annie.
All right, thanks, Sunny. Okay, Cash, you there?
Annie.
Hello. Okay, so the R is giving you some trouble, huh?
Yeah, I just want to check whether I'm doing like I'm in the correct path on R, so I just want to check on that.
Okay. Okay, so again, so we have 3 different types of R's. What are you feeling like all of the R's are tricky, or do you feel like one of them is better than others? What are you kind of thinking?
No, I just want to check whether I'm doing good or not on it.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right, I'm going to have you, so tell me a little bit about, tell me what week I just want to hear you talk, because the best indicator I have of how you're doing with the R's is hearing you in conversation. So, most students can do it pretty well just reading, but it's when you're telling me about something that I want to hear if you're doing it right or not. Okay, so tell me a little bit about kind of where you are in the program and how you've been practicing.
So currently I'm uh, uh, in the week 10th and on the week 10th, and the the way I practice myself is by reading novels. So I read novels, and like when I'm reading a chapter, I at least read two to three pages, and this is the way I practice it. And
you're reading out loud, right?
yeah. So
okay, some students are telling me, well, I read every day, but I don't read it out loud. I'm like, no, you have to read out loud to get your mouth, moving in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So I'm currently I'm reading this Dan Brown novel that is The Lost Symbol, and
Okay.
I'm almost like uh, over half of the book, and have been practicing by reading it, as well as I follow BBC radio channel,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm also practicing by listening exercises. So I'm kind of following the BBC radio.
Okay, good.
So
Does it
yeah,
ever
so
mess you up that they have a British accent?
no, it's
Okay.
yeah, no, like the BBC has this podcast. So, but the CNN doesn't have any. So that's the problem.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
know what? There's I'm trying to think. This American Life is an interesting podcast to follow. Um, it kind of just gives stories, but it's all American
American Life.
stories. What's that?
American Life.
This American Life. Yeah.
This
So
American Life.
yeah,
Okay.
they just kind of talk through stories of different people in America and things but they're really interesting stories. So that's kind of a fun one with the American accent if you're looking for something just entertaining. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily news. So I know BBC and CNN and things are news
Yeah. Yeah.
related.
So
So
okay.
okay. So okay, Cash, your R is sounding fantastic. I'm really liking, the position, the clarity. It's nice and smooth. I'm hearing it in all three positions. Um, the only thing that you would want to be aware of is making sure, and I couldn't quite pick up exactly where in what context this was, but the making sure the R initial R doesn't become a W,
Okay.
making sure that that tongue is engaged, because the only difference between a W and an R is whether the tongue is relaxed or whether it's pulled back. So instead
Okay.
of, so wed and red, wed, wed, red, wed, red. So my mouth is kind of doing the same thing on the outside, but on the inside, it's that tongue that's engaging.
Okay.
Okay. But that was only like the slightest little on one word that I was like, oh, maybe a little bit more R in that initial R, or a little bit more tongue on that initial R. But the rest of them are really clear. Now, what I want you to concentrate a little bit more on is you're probably at like 90% with your TH sounds.
Okay.
Occasionally, it's a little bit of a Z sound. So we want to make sure that tongue is just between the teeth every single time. So like I said, it's 90% there. So you're there most of the time, but occasionally that Z might sneak in there. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You're sounding really good. And so for you now, it's kind of refining that TH sound, and just keep working on the rhythm and vowel, and just fine tuning the vowels
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Thanks, Akash. Okay. Najen, or Wen, sorry. Wen, let me unmute you. Wen, you there?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Okay, let's get into, I'm out of space here. Let me kind of just go in here. Okay, so we have final blending with LP. Final blends with LP. LP sounds. So you have lots of good examples here, which I appreciate. So I can just, okay, so let me just pull up a few of them. Oops, gulp, scalp. I'm just going to pull out ones that are pretty frequently
Okay.
said. So Yelp, because that's, a website that comes up. And then LD sounds, okay. LD sounds that have child, wild, these are more common, right? And then SP have clasp, grasp, wasp. Okay, so let's go through a few of these here together. Start at the top here. Okay, so the LP sound So say some of these for me. So say these 3 words for me.
Okay. A gulp, scalp, yelp.
Okay, those sound great to me. So you're getting that it's the dark L, but you're kind of coming up with the tongue a little bit similar to a light L, which I would say keep doing. Gulp, 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 gulp. Because it wouldn't be gulp, gulp. You're right to put your tongue up and touch the roof of your mouth for that L. Gulp, gulp.
Gulp.
Yeah, scalp.
Scalp.
Good. Yelp.
Yelp.
Yeah, so getting that tongue up to touch the backside of your, kind of that ridge between the ridge and your front teeth for that L sound is perfect. So it sounds really clear. Now do LD, so do these 2 words.
Child, wild.
Okay, so these become a little bit more tricky. Child, child. So these ones tend to not touch the roof of your mouth and do have that true
Cup sound.
Dark L sound. Child. So say that for me. Child.
Child.
Yeah. Child.
Child.
Yeah, there you go. Child.
Child.
Yeah, that's it. Child.
Child.
So on that last time you said it, you kind of reverted back to what you were doing before. So slow it down again. Child.
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 Okay. The child.
The child.
The child.
The child.
And get that D at the end. Child.
Child.
The child is.
The child.
The child is.
The child.
And then do is at the end. The child is.
The child is.
Yeah. So that sounds much better. Okay. Wild.
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 The child is wild.
The child is wild.
Yeah, there you go. Very clear. Good. Good. I liking that. So yeah, slowing it down, kind of getting the different chunks of that word and then moving it together. Okay? Then do these 3 words for me.
Clasp, grasp, wasp.
So this one's actually going to be wasp. It kind of has a funny, it changes to the ah, wasp. So when you're talking about the bug, the wasp, it has an ah sound to it, wasp.
Wasp.
Whereas these other have the true short A. Clasp, grasp, wasp.
Wasp. Clasp, grasp, wasp.
Yeah. So that those sound really good. Those SP sounds too. All right. We should clasp the wasp. Do that for me. We should clasp the wasp.
We should clasp the wasp. The wasp.
The wasp. Good. Good. And now, and as you put them into sentences and you put them into conversation and things, it's just a matter of getting that repetition so that you can say it fast. Because that's the trick, is your mouth might be a little, you're saying it correctly, but it might be a little, unsure about that movement. So the more you just repeat it, now that you're saying it correct, and you know you're saying it correct, just repeat it, and you'll get faster in those transitions. Okay?
I have another quick question.
Okay.
How you gonna say the final D correctly? Because sometimes I say it too light, or sometimes I make it too much.
Oh, okay. So that's a good question because sometimes it moves more into the ending sound or moves into the next sound, and T's and D's kind of come into that situation a lot where we don't sometimes release it fully because of what's coming next. When it's at the end of a sentence or end of a thought or end of something that you're saying, you always want to get a very clear ending. Where's the child? there's kind of, you can hear that D, whereas the child is in, it becomes connected to the next one, so we don't just the child is, it's the child is. And so we just connect it to the next word. The trick, always get your mouth in position, like we were talking about before. Always get your mouth in position for that D sound at the end of the word. But depending on what's next, it might not be a full release, but we always get our mouth in position.
Just
okay.
Always. Okay.
So that's the thing with final consonants. Always get your mouth in position for that final consonant. And you know, it'll always be right. Okay.
Can I try a paragraph so you can
Sure. Yeah, let me
hear it, whether
let's
I
go here.
do it correctly. You want me to read any paragraph to you?
Yeah, so go ahead. If you have something, go ahead. If you want to read this paragraph, go ahead there.
Yeah, okay. Dad was sad to go to his dentist appointment on Tuesday. He loved to eat pudding and donuts. The sugar is bad for his teeth. He was sad because Tuesday was his birthday and we were having a party with all his favorite food. After going to the dentist, Dad sat down at his desk to do some reading. I guess I will cut down how many donuts I eat, he said.
Okay, so those D's sounded wonderful. So you might feel that you're like overemphasizing some D sounds, but to a native speaker or someone just listening, it doesn't sound overemphasized. It sounds exactly right. Okay? So like in a situation, love to eat, you did that perfect. So you got your mouth in the position for the D, but then the T sound is where we released it. Love to. Love to. Yeah, so that was great. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Great job. Yeah. Great job. Okay, so we have Rania. Rania just said we talk about the drop T here. Rania, let me just kind of ask real quick. Rania, are you there?
Yes.
This was probably talking about something we were talking about earlier, but you said in the alumni course there's the drop T.
Yeah, for advantage. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's alumni. And you did, for
so when
online...
that rule where there's the N and the T, I go through that in the alumni course. Do you remember which video that is?
No.
Because I have several of them about common reductions, and that's probably one of them that I went through. So the titles in the alumni course that talk about common reductions, those are where I talk about that rule with the NT sound.
Yeah, like international, internet, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So good. I'm glad it's in more of one of those set lessons than just a webinar. So yeah. So in that alumni course, you'll see more of those reductions. So I think that's something to really be aware of, is that the reductions are not the most important thing when you start learning pronunciation and fluency. The important thing is to make sure you're getting the sounds and the rhythm correct. And then as you go through, you can learn some of those reductions and kind of loosen up the pronunciation a little bit. But until you learn the foundation, then I don't like hearing the reductions because it just confuses things.
And it's also in webinars, more than one webinar. I think, you went through it.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit in the webinars too. Because it seems to be a question that people ask, because you're right. You listen to native speakers and you're thinking, well, they don't pronounce everything perfect. You know, why would I need, why shouldn't I be learning that? But the more I teach it, the more I realize, okay, that's good and all, the reductions are good and all, and we'll go over those, but the foundation has to be laid first before we get there.
Yes.
We gotta walk before we run, right?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Rania.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for the webinar today. Sunny, I promised Sunny I would kind of go over the R's a little bit with him here at the end. So I'm gonna stick around and kind of do that for a minute. If you're interested in R's and want to keep working on that, then then stick around and we'll practice that a little bit more. I have probably 15 more minutes that I can spend here. But I understand that that many of you have to get on with life and work and everything that you're working on to accomplish your goals, because learning pronunciation and fluency is not the end. It's the reason why we're doing this is so that we can reach our real goals, which tend to be to get better jobs, to make more money, to have more opportunities. So go ahead and keep practicing, keep working on this goal so you can accomplish your real goals. All right, and for those of you who were here today but didn't and might have had questions that we haven't gone over, you can definitely contact me, email me, and you can ask any questions. The comment sections on each of the lessons have we can ask and answer questions there. So be sure to interact, be sure to get involved as you go through this course, because that's the best way to learn and progress and make sure that you're doing it right, is to get that feedback, okay? And these webinars are great for that, okay? So keep on working, keep on practicing, and I'll see you all in the next webinar. Thanks.